If you're a creative entrepreneur, I bet you have so many ideas that you're working on simultaneously. And if you're like most creative entrepreneurs I know, you are probably plagued with half-finished projects. It can feel really tempting to believe if only you had better time management skills or better project management skills that your business will be at a very different level, right? Because you've watched so many other people implement these strategies and coming out the other side with like results that you yourself desire. And there is that temptation to think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I produce the same results as other people? Because you know you're capable, you know you have the skills, you know you have the gifts, and nothing is wrong with you. And today I'll share with you the reason why the time management or product management strategies may not actually work for you and why this is not your fault. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Doreca Delbridge. Most of you know me as msdorylinda, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome again. I'm an occupational psychologist from dorelinda.com. I work with creative entrepreneurs just like yourself to help them utilize emotional regulation strategies to actually help them grow their businesses. If that is something that intrigues you, make sure you check out the description down below where I will link the workshops and the mentorship program that I offer. So here's the thing, as business people, including myself as a creative person, I like what time management and project management strategies promise me, right? They promise us amazing things. They tell us if we minimize interruptions, if we can stop procrastinating, if we can implement that morning routine, if we have that dynamic task list, which I have done this so many times. If we can learn to prioritize, then we can experience that increased productivity where all the things that we want to accomplish, we can tick off our list, right? We can get more done with less procrastination, and we can build these better habits. I'm an advocate for building better habits. I'm not saying these things don't work, and how these things, as we're implementing them, they can help us reduce stress because we're no longer scrambling at the last minute because you didn't finish that client work that you knew was coming, but you waited until the very last minute to attend to. You know you do that, right? The thing is, you may have tried to actually put these strategies and habits in place, and they may momentarily help. They may even, some have already maybe stuck with you and you formed them into habits. But you found that over time, most of them don't really continue to work. They don't really produce the same results long term. They're not sustainable. And it can feel really defeating because you're thinking, I thought I finally found that one thing that would make sense, right? It's not your fault that nobody told you that time management strategies, or at least the advocating of it, is presumptuous. The strategies presume that you will operate at an even kilt, that every day you will be at the same mental and emotional state, that you wake up and you will be at the same state you were with yesterday. Therefore, today you can tick off the list, the 12 things that you needed to tick off yesterday, right? You'll be able to execute them at the same level of intensity and motivation and attention to detail as you did the day before. And you'll be able to attend to them methodically and being able to tick them off the list at the end of the day and just have this routine where you are almost like a machine. What the time management strategies fail to inform us upfront is that all these activities are really dependent on our emotional distress levels, or at least the tolerance to emotional distress levels. We all have a window of tolerance. By that I mean this is a state where we can face stresses and be at a calm state that we can tolerate them and respond to them in a logical and manageable place. And we all have different window of tolerance. We can have a very narrow window of tolerance. We can have very wide window of tolerance. And depending on circumstances that we're even facing, sometimes it depends on the time of day. It can depend from a person to person. It can depend on circumstance to circumstance. But time management strategies aren't taking that into place, aren't taking into account, are you now in a state where that is tolerable? So let's say you are out of your window of tolerance. By that, I mean you are either very hyper aroused or you are very hypo aroused. So that means, are you very overwhelmed, maybe agitated because something has triggered you to be in a place where you don't feel at your even killed. You're not feeling at your optimal level. Or maybe you're very hyper aroused where you are almost numbing yourself and go in a very low state, and you're not able to respond to circumstances that as you normally would if you were in your window of tolerance. The time management strategies aren't taking any of this into account. We're not machines. We are human beings. We have different experiences in interaction with our lives, and depending on how our history, our imprint when we are younger, our tolerance levels, how we operate and respond to the day triggers that we face is going to differ. When we are taking into account time management strategies, we have to keep into account what this means in our own life. And if you're a creative person, chances are you tap into a lot of those places to bring out the creativity. Does that make sense? If you're finding value in what I'm sharing with you so far, make sure you like this video. I take a lot of time to bring videos that I think will bring a lot of value for you instead of feeling frustrated and agitated throughout your week. So if you're finding value in this, I would really appreciate you giving it a like. It helps the channel and it helps the video actually reach more people that it may also actually benefit as well. So what can you do if you notice that, okay, time management strategies or project management strategies out of the box aren't working for me? What can I do to make use of them or to implement them? And the first place that I would suggest that you start is start to notice and understand your emotional state. That will really be a good indicator to what other measures you need to bring in first before the time management skills can be helpful. And the second thing that you need to do is, once you've understood and noticed and understood your emotional state, is to put in place measures that activate the support structure to helping you whatever state you may be in, so that you can regulate and bring yourself in a window of tolerance that will then be in a better place to actually make use of your time management skills or time management strategies that you may be trying to do, or your project management strategies. So first, notice and understand what emotional state you may be in. Second, implement the right strategies that activate the right support that help you regulate and come back to your window of tolerance. And the third one is really to widen that window of tolerance. By that I mean we need to go inward to do the healing part. I'll give you an example. If you are waking up every day with a migraine, yes, taking Tylenol and, caffeine, whatever it is that your remedy that you take can be helpful to, deal with the symptoms. And sometimes we just need to deal with the symptoms, which things like procrastination and avoidance tactics are that. They're just symptoms. But what is the real problem? What is the safety that is threatened? Why are you going into fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? Those are the hyperarousal and hypoarousal states. Your nervous system is experiencing a trigger. And in order to help your nervous system over time to be in an even kilt, you need to go back into the place of what is this triggering. So the part of the healing and the part of going deeper is a long-term work, and it's not a quick fix. It's not like just a cognitive switch that we can switch off, and therefore we no longer feel the need to be hyper aroused or hypo aroused, but it's something that you can learn long term. So don't beat yourself up when you feel like you're activating these survival modes or safety and preserving and soothing practices such as procrastination. Learn to appreciate that your nervous system and your body is just trying to protect you from something that you have believed is necessary to do. So this is not a fault. This is not a brokenness in you, in your system. This is not your inability to tick off something off the list or to do this time management strategy. It's really more of understanding with compassion that we're trying our best. That's all we've known. It's not your fault, but there are different ways that you can learn that. So activate those 3 stages. Learn to implement those in your practice, in your life, in your business. You will definitely experience better results when you then activate the time management strategies. They don't work well when we ignore that sequence of activation, because then we are almost assuming that we are removed from being a human. And as you always hear me say, we have to focus on the being part so that we can maximize the doing part. I hope that makes sense. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you know somebody that it would benefit, make sure you share this content with them. And make sure you check out the next videos that I will link somewhere. I'm not sure where they will be linking. I think they'll be linking here. We'll be linking them right here. Make sure you check these videos out next. And remember to always focus on your being than your doing. And I'll see you in the next one.